So we go to court today. If y'all can invite somebody, please do. Anybody you can invite. Because we just had 24 people on here, but now I'm going to tell you what I had to do. I had to uninstall Messenger so that they can't interrupt me while I'm live. All right, so y'all hold on. Now y'all know I went to court today, and true enough, I got my baby back, but she not with me. Them kidnappers still got her. But let me explain what's going on so y'all will know. So here's the deal, and y'all forgive me, it's hot in here, I got to turn the air off. I'm trying to calm down because y'all know I get excited. Some people say I be on drugs and stuff, but you know, that just be people that really ain't that close to the Lord like that. But anyway, so me and Alexiss, we already had a conversation. We've been talking about this before we went to court. So I had a dream about my baby for the first night last night. I didn't sleep but for about an hour. So I already told Alexiss, I said, baby, listen, these people do not have a case against us. Okay, I say, listen, they don't have no case against us. We got a case against them. If you watching this live and some of my people that's been following me this far, if they remember you and I make it to the end of this and get this money that I'm about to get, folks were saying I was crazy. All right. Well, I knew I was going to get my baby back anyway. If I die right now, we have already made it to where they cannot keep my baby. So they tried to keep, well, let's start from the top. Because these folks corrupt, man. These folks evil now. So let's start over from the top. So me and Alexiss, we wake up this morning. We was finna walk all the way to court. Parkersburg, West Virginia is just a hop, skip, and a jump. It ain't number about 30,000 people in Parkersburg. So we walk into court today, and the bus stops and picks us up. Alexiss has already made it known she did not want to give no testimony today. You understand? So, and the reason Alexiss didn't want to get no testimony is because we found out that CPS has concerns about her state of mind. I don't know where this come from. I don't. What they call people like that? Karens. I think all the Karens done joined up with CPS now. That's where all the Karens at. They snatching babies. So now on our Facebook group, Doom Squad, you got to be handpicked now. Now is the time is where we gonna collect everybody for our petition on February 15th. But for you to be a part of the Doom Squad now, listen, I got too many haters now. They hating on me from Facebook administration. Did you hear what I said? Because I'm working against CPS, and these folks done kidnapped my baby illegally, and because I'm fighting, and because of how I'm fighting, Facebook is working against me. Let me tell you what happened. Before I get to this court thing, I recently reached out to a guy in Orlando, and he told me, he said, listen, the first time I called him, he gave me his cell phone number. I calls him. He said, listen, man, that dude you was talking about from Facebook, that's not your friend. This one of the first things he said. I'm not going to tell you who he is and all that because he's a well-known person out there in Florida. But he said, listen, that guy from Facebook ain't your friend. I said, which one? He told me that the guy named Chris Scare. I don't know if y'all remember when I told y'all, you know, I was like, hey, I just talked to somebody from Facebook. I was excited. So anyway, Facebook is hating on us. They hating on you. They don't want you to know what's going on. Is you hearing what I'm saying? Now, I didn't imagine Facebook would have hated on me after TikTok did, but y'all don't know this. I'm supposed to be able to go live tomorrow on TikTok. If I live to see tomorrow and they unloose me for my lives on TikTok, I'm about to roast CPS as fast as I can. I'm finna throw them in a furnace because I'm finna point it at. I'm finna talk it at. And if you ain't noticed, I don't have no problem talking all day. I can do that. I'm talking about, so anyway, so we walk in the court, we get in the courtroom. Now, when they worn me down, listen, y'all, they must have thought I had some wires or something on me. Man, they checked they took my jacket off. They patted it down, looked all on the inside, because they know that social media done took hold to this case. They know this town ain't got but 30,000 people in it. Damn near everybody in Parkersburg know what's going on. And a lot of these folks be riding by me looking all evil and stuff, but they can look at my face and know I don't care about none of that. Do you hear me? So anyway, some of them, they be coming on my lives. I'll tell you about that once I get to the court case. So anyway, so Alexiss has already said she not going to give testimony. So we come in and they weigh me down like I'm about to enter a spaceship or something, and they want to make sure I ain't got no wires on me. Alexiss was not afraid because I already told her, look, baby, they don't have a case against us. We got a case against them. So we don't have to worry. I say, look, you said you don't want to testify. No problem. You just don't testify and I take care of the rest because they're going to call me to the stand too. So anyway, the first thing that hey y'all, what do you call the opposite people attorney? What they call it's not defense attorney. What is called? The other people attorney, not my attorney, but like the people that bring the charge. What is that? Well, anyway, hold up. So we go to, so we get in the courtroom, and these folks thought they was finna get us today. They don't know that I'm a child of God. And God let me know things here and there that I need to know because I try to stay in tune as much as I can. So we go in the courtroom today, and lo and behold, they did not know the plan that me and Alexiss had. So they wasn't ready for Alexiss not to give testimony today. And when I tell y'all the questions they asked me, you're going to see how deceptive these folks is. These folks slick now. So anyway, y'all forgive my oh, there. So we get in the courtroom. Now these people told me do not post nothing. Don't talk about this case. But do you think I'm about to, man, what's wrong with these people, man? So we get in the courtroom. The first thing that their attorneys say, Your Honor, we've spoken to the defendant, Miss Phillips' family, and her mom says that she has a second grade education. I'm like, listen, is y'all stupid? My wife, she made it up to the 11th grade, okay? But she used to be a hothead, and she got her a couple of assault charges. I'm just let y'all know. Alexiss not that quiet person y'all think she is. She like that because she been with me. And God has helped her to calm down from when I first met her. That girl was something serious. Listen, do y'all know Alexiss used to beat on me when I first met her? I'm just going to let y'all know. So anyway, that's irrelevant. So now, so we get in the courtroom, and they say they got concerns about, it's a lie, but they said it. And so what they was doing was trying to build a case against us because right now they didn't have one. Everybody in America know that these folks took my baby for no damn reason. Because they thought I lost parental rights. So now y'all kidnapping babies because y'all thought something, huh? So anyway, so it was important for them to try to build a case because they don't have one. So when we come in the courtroom, the first thing the lady say, well, Your Honor, we got concerns that Alexiss has cognitive problems and a second grade education, and we don't even think that she's able to give testimony today. We think she needs an advocate or something. So then they talk about me. They say, and Your Honor, defendant Hannah, we've been watching him on Facebook, and he seems to be a little erratic. They say he seemed to be a little erratic. He's showing very aggressive behavior. We believe that he might have a mental problem, and we don't think that he need to even be here without an advocate himself. So I forgot what the judge said about that. So next thing you know, the judge says, okay, would y'all like to bring forth your first witness? Do y'all know that lady damn near broke her mouth trying to say my wife's name? Oh, we like to call Alexiss Phillips to the stand. She said it like she had done won the lottery or something. Hey, so listen, they didn't know. Alexiss wasn't finna tell them nothing because she ain't got nothing to tell them. So immediately, Alexiss didn't even move. She was way in the back of the courtroom. So she didn't even get up. So they said, Alexiss Phillips, come forth. Come on now. And so I speak up. I say, Your Honor, she said she don't want to testify. Why y'all trying to make her testify? He act like he didn't even hear me. He said, Alexiss Phillips, come on. You got to testify. So the officer walks back there like he's finna escort her. And I already told her this was going to happen. I say, baby, because they don't got no case against us, they're going to try to get a case against us by getting you to testify, and then they ask you some crazy ass question, and because you couldn't answer it in 5.5 seconds, they going to say you can't think fast. They was going to use that as a reason for them to keep custody, and then we go through this whole crazy ass process they're going through. So anyway, so then the police come back like he finna escort her. So she plays along. I already told her, I said, baby, they're going to do that. So she remembered that. So when she comes up, I say again, Your Honor, she don't want to testify. Why is y'all trying to make her testify? Now, I'm not supposed to be talking, but the judge got mad when I said that. He got red. He tried to act like he ain't hear me. He was like, Alexiss, come on, folks, come on, come on. Raise your right hand. She said, I don't want to testify. He said, raise your right hand. She said, I don't want to testify. Then I said something. Your Honor, she don't want to testify. Why y'all make... He said, you ain't got nothing to do with this. Alexiss Phillips, raise your right hand. So she raised her right hand. He said, you promised to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but... She said, okay. She sits down. And so the first thing she says is, Your Honor, I don't want to testify. So then he goes and he tries to... I'm glad I was in the courtroom, because if she was in there by herself, anybody who'd have been in there by themselves and they ain't never been through this before, they would have intimidated you to fall into their trap by saying something that they finna use in they little, what you call it, psychosis story. Because CPS is the only people walking around in a psychosis state right now. So anyway, she said, Your Honor, I don't want to testify. And if some of y'all on here from CPS, I'm giving you this information because y'all in trouble anyway. You better watch the news. So anyway, she said, I don't want to testify. So he says, well, you do know that this is not a criminal proceeding. This is a civil proceeding. And you can although you can express your 15th Amendment or 5th Amendment right not to speak, that your silence can be used against you by you not responding. She said, I understand that. He said, okay. So then I said, Your Honor, she don't want to testify. They act like they don't hear me. So now, then the attorney, she begins her interrogation. First thing she say, is Alexiss Phillips your full name? And Alexiss stood there like this. So then the lady looks up at the judge like, so the judge said, Alexiss, are you not talking? She said, no, sir, Your Honor. That man was so damn mad. He said, all right, you can leave the stand. It was at this point that their hopes of winning this case was over with. They done already looked into my biography. Because of this CPS case, I done had a biography made of my life, and I didn't even have to call CNN or nothing. But I want to show y'all some things because y'all getting this exclusive. Because you on live with me, you finna see this firsthand. I want y'all to make sure y'all share this video too. Hold on. So anyway, let me tell you the story while I go get the paperwork. So when she gets off the stand, you remember Cat Williams when he made that joke about the tiger and he was like, wait for it, wait for it. When Alexiss wouldn't give her testimony, I was like, that tiger, Cat Williams was talking like, wait for it, because I'm looking at their face. I know they finna get mad. And sure enough, if you would have seen the looks on the judge's face when she didn't get no testimony, these folks was mad as hell because they was banking off her testimony so they can have a case, because they don't have no case against me and they don't have one against her. Now, true enough, you got people on TikTok that's talking about, human trafficking or domestic violence or child molester. And okay, hey, if you want any of that to hit the courtroom, by all means, they will subpoena you. So here's the deal. Let me show y'all some of this paperwork in the process. Now, these folks crazy now. When y'all see this, y'all is not going to believe what type of stunt they was trying to pull. So then they called me to the stand. Now, just to let you know, this ain't my first time taking a stand. I done won a case before as my own attorney, and I had to interrogate myself so that I can get out certain truths, because they didn't, when they when you in trial, the person that it's not called interrogate, it's called questioning. Their attorney, they gonna question you to help their case. They not gonna ask you questions, important questions that need to be asked in your favor. So in a previous case, I had to question myself and answer myself while I was sitting on the stand. So I was ready to get on the stand. I wouldn't even worry. Ask me anything. So I take the stand, and so she starts off. She says, Mr. Hanna, how long have you been here in Parkersburg? I say, well, because I'm not in a rush to answer no question. I said, well, about 2 months, something like that. She said, oh, okay. She said, well, since you've been here, how long you been staying here? Since you've been here, where was you staying when you first got here? So I told her, I said, well, when I first got here, I was staying with a friend of mine's. She said, well, what's your friend's name? I gave her his name. I didn't give her his name. I gave him his nickname. Because I say, well, this my friend. I don't even know his real name. I just know his nickname. Which it don't matter. It don't even matter if I was telling the truth. So anyway, I say, and I give him the address. Because I already know they were finna try to pull this "we been homeless forever" stunt. No. Don't lie on me like that. Just because you done heard about me being in Tent City, I was famous in Tent City. Okay, God had me there preaching out in the field in Tent City. Do you hear what I'm telling you? A lot of people got a chance to know the Lord because this was during the time in my life where God was just beginning to work on me. Because when I got saved, God started working on me. So that's why I didn't care about nobody talking about I was living in a tent. Well, some folks got a mansion and they still living in a tent. We ain't gonna get into that right now. So anyway, so next thing she says, she say, well, before you came to Parkersburg, where you was staying at? I said, oh, well, I was staying in Memphis, Tennessee. She said, oh, okay. Where you was staying at in Memphis? I said, we were staying at a rooming house. She said, oh, okay. She said, you got an ID or something? I said, yeah. I said, it's in my pocket. You want to see it? She said, no. She said, what it say on your ID? I said, it say Memphis. Let me show y'all. And don't worry, y'all try to use my information. You finna mess up your ID, not mine. I just want y'all to see the part where it say Memphis so y'all will be up to date with what I'm talking about. Give me a second. I want to show y'all my ID. Can y'all see that? Hold on. Tennessee. So that hurt them real bad because they thought I didn't even have an ID. So anyway, next thing she asked me, she said, well, have you ever been to, because see, her cousin been talking about how me and Alexiss, we been on vacation while I've been preaching around America. I'm going to just let y'all know what's been going on, because see, before now, when everybody was talking all them lies and stuff, y'all probably thought I was some junkie, just came from in a tent somewhere. Y'all, they didn't know me. God wanted people to know some of the things I used to do so you'll know what type of things God can do. So anyway, she said, well, have you ever been to Denver? No, I think she said Detroit. I said, yeah. She said, you ever been to Vegas? I said, well, me and my wife, we went to Vegas for our honeymoon. She said, oh, okay. She said, well, before then, where were you? I stopped. I say, I don't know. She said, okay. So, because she was trying to build this whole, every question she asking me for a reason. So, after she asked me that, I don't think she asked me too many more things. So to make a long story short, when all these questions she was asking me, they were supposed to be asking her. Because if they asked her, Alexiss would have went to trying to get in details and trying to remember days. Because see, when they asked me about days and stuff, I'm like, hey, I didn't come here prepared for you to give me no timeline update. I'm supposed to tell you where I was every couple weeks. So I was like, man, hey, man, it's a lot of the questions I just say, I don't know. So it was at this point, now I'm looking at this lady while she talking to me, and I will not lie to you, she was shaking. She was shaking from frustration because Alexiss didn't give no testimony, and she was wondering what we finna do now. Although she was asking me questions, because their whole little strategy had them been ruined, she was shaking while she was she was like this. Hold on, give me a moment, let me show you. So she holding up paperwork, and she like, shaking it. I'm like, I say, I know why you're shaking. Because you don't know what to do now, do you? So after she done asked me her little preliminary question, which was nothing, they didn't even ask me nothing important. Like, am I a dangerous person and all that? You try to take my baby, I'm going to let you figure it out. So, bam. after she asked her questions, now I want y'all to hear this, because I don't know how many people on my live is with CPS. I don't know how many people on here is really on my side. But irregardless, I'm finna let you know, I'm gonna make sure this video is get posted online and at least everybody get a chance to see them. So she looks up at the judge, because she ain't got no more questions, and she go like this. At this moment, they was through. No case. Nothing. Because all that stuff you've been hearing about us was just that hearsay. You know what hearsay is, don't you? Nothing. Nothing. So, while I'm speaking to you right now, we have won our case. But let me tell you how they got out of it. And let me tell you what I heard, because I'm going to make sure that these folks get what they deserve. So, my public defense pretender. No. Yeah. My public defender, she comes up with an idea on how they can get out of this right now. Because if they would have talked about my case, about why they took my baby, then my case would have got dismissed today. So they had to avoid talking about my case today. And here's what they did. My public defender says, Your Honor, I believe that I want a motion for us to change the jurisdiction of this case over to Memphis, because they was in Memphis prior to here over 6 months. And if I'm not mistaken, that may qualify Memphis to have jurisdiction over the case. Now I'm sitting back and telling myself, I'm like, is you crazy? Y'all took my baby in Parkersburg. My baby was born in Parkersburg. What the hell Memphis got to do with this? You ain't even got to read a book to know something wrong with that. But let me tell you what they did, because these people in private courtrooms are practicing private law. And if they get away with it, it'll never look right. It'll never look like what they did when the other courts look at it. So when it go to higher courts, what actually happened may never be heard. I'm just telling you how they get away with getting over on you, and it never be heard of. Nobody know they got over on you. So at this point, because Alexiss didn't get no testimony, so they wouldn't be, whatever they was finna try to prove about her, they gonna have to have some paper now. And there is none. My wife didn't graduate from high school, but I didn't either. Do you hear me? But she damn sure made it past the 2nd grade. It's a difference between 11 and 2. The lady, if I wasn't saved and I saw her on the streets, I'd have slapped her wig off her head. And if it wasn't a wig, I'd have made it one. Because she said my wife didn't get nothing but a 2nd grade education. Because these folks done insulted my wife. This the last straw. I'm finna let everybody know everything that's going on from my point of view. And until I get assassinated, these folks is going to be in hell of trouble just coming from me. Because I was watching what they was doing. So here we go. Now, she said, well, this is my public defender trying to, why in the hell would my public defender be trying to move the jurisdiction of the case when y'all heard her? If you on this live, y'all heard her say, we got this case beat. They don't go back on the group. Go back to Now Is the Time, when I was sitting down and it was early in the morning and I started that video, and then all of a sudden I called my public defender. Boop. She said it. She said, well, listen, I don't see how they got grounds to even have a case. So don't worry, because when we get there, I'm going to defend the fact that they didn't have a reason to have this case in the beginning. The whole time she working with them, and she showed me she was, because she was the one that came up with this jurisdiction idea to try to keep my case from being heard today about why they took my baby. They never listen, because they had this little jurisdictional thing. They tried to slip out of talking about why y'all took my baby. So here's the deal. So she say that, the judge say, yeah, jurisdiction, you right. Memphis might have some jurisdiction over this. So here I am, I'm thinking to myself, I know this wrong because since I had this case with CPS, I've been doing my research. And here's the deal, in West Virginia, if a child has been somewhere for 6 months, that's considered their home. That's their state. Okay? But if you look this up yourself, you'll see I'm not lying. Go to West Virginia law pertaining to child, what is it? I don't know exactly how to word this, but look it up. What determines a child's state in a family court hearing, and you'll see. If you can see this, I know damn well the judge knew this anyway. But let me tell you how they tried to get out of this. Well, they got out of it, but they didn't, because we won the case today. Because they don't have no case, and Alexiss didn't get no testimony, and I know damn well they not finna come with one piece of paper to support anything they talking about they concerned about. So, after the judge says this, and I want y'all to stay tuned, hold up. I'm getting to the best part of this. So, next thing you know, the judge asks the person that was interrogating me what she thought about it. She said, well, Your Honor, the baby was born here. I don't see why we gotta do that. So then he had to ask all the other attorneys. So he asked Alexiss' attorney, because we got different attorneys. Alexiss' attorney says, I forget. I think he didn't agree with it either. But now let me tell you how slick these folks feel. My newborn daughter had her own attorney representing her. I believe that he not with them. I'm going to tell you why. As soon as they brought up this jurisdiction thing, my daughter's attorney says, well, Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, statute such and such explains that a newborn, if the baby just was born, then whatever state that baby was born in, that's the state that would have jurisdiction over a CPS case. So now the judge, trying to beat me in whatever way he thought he was finna beat me. Watch this, y'all. This how slick they were. So the judge up there, after my daughter's attorney says this, I think about 10 seconds later, he reaches over and pushes a button. Boop. And my daughter's attorney screen, it goes out. Bloop. It turns white. Now everybody who was looking at him would have noticed that he did that. So as soon as he hits the screen, he sits back and he looks at me like he done something wrong. I didn't know he done something wrong. I thought he just done turned the screen off. Hey, he turning the screen off. So he sits back, he looks at me, and now everybody looking at me. In the courtroom, it's quiet. This was the weirdest moment I ever had in a courtroom. Soon as he pushed that button for that, now I'm gonna tell you why he did this so y'all can see just how treacherous these folks are. So he hits the button, turns off my daughter's attorney screen because he was talking about that statute about jurisdiction. And now he sits back and he looked like he done something wrong. He looking at me. I look around, everybody looking at me. I'm like, what y'all looking at me for? So I sit back. For at least 40 seconds in the courtroom, nothing was said. It was almost like they was expecting me to get mad and have some erratic behavior. First thing came to my mind, I say, oh, they must think I'm finna be upset. Now that I realize that they not finna hear this case today, they want a continuance. But God gave me peace, and I just sat there like this. I looked the judge right in the eye too. I looked the sheriff right in the eye. I'm just sitting here twisting my beard. I'm like, y'all some slick bastards. Y'all think y'all slick, don't you? Okay. So I'm watching. 40 seconds goes by. Nothing said, as quiet as a mouse in the courtroom. It was so strange. I felt weird. I'm like, okay. But what happened was the judge made a foul play. He turned the screen off. Y'all remember that? I say he just turned the screen off. And I don't know what was in his mind, but his behavior gave himself away because he sat back like he did something wrong and got to looking at me. But it was strange because now, what the fuck, excuse me, what is we sitting in here quiet for? So guess what the judge do? The judge, after about 40 seconds of silence, the judge says, I think we lost the other attorney. I said to myself, come on, man, we just saw you turn the screen off. What the hell is you doing? This is what I said to myself. I'm like, so guess what the judge do? He say, let me go see if I can make a phone call and get him back on the screen. The reason why the judge had turned the screen off was because if he would have left the screen on, my daughter's attorney was finna talk about that statute again. And by doing so, they was going to have to hear my case today about why they took my baby. They weren't going to be able to put it off. So the judge done took my daughter attorney off the screen, pushed the button, everybody seen it. I guess they expected for me to get all crazy or something. I'm sitting back like, oh, okay, waiting on you, sir. The judge gets up. He walks out. He say, let me go see if I can make a phone call, get him back on the screen. Listen, the man walked out and walked right back in, sat down, and was like, well, I guess we can't reach him. Let's move on with this. And left the man in the background. He done knocked the man off of Zoom and just forgot about him. But I just told you why he did that. So the judge says, well, I'm kind of confused about this jurisdictional thing. So I think it's going to be best for us to hold a meeting next week on the 2nd so we can figure this out. Because you might be right. I don't know. Maybe Memphis got jurisdiction over this. So at this point, I already know my case solid and complete. They don't got nothing on us. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm just wondering why they trying to get out the courtroom today without talking about it. So after this, then they say, so what we gonna do about a sin, what they call it, visitation. So then the CPS people say, well, Your Honor, the defendant, Hannah, we've seen several of his Facebook lives, and he's on Facebook he's got very erratic behavior. He's calling us demons, and we're concerned that if he gets visitation, he's going to run out the building with the baby. Did that sound? Come on, man. So the judge say, I forgot what the judge say. Oh, the judge say, well, he couldn't go for that. That shit that sounded too crazy anyway. The judge working with them, and he couldn't even go for that. He said, well, if y'all really got, the baby's young, and they got laws about this. So, if y'all really got a concern like that, then make sure you make appropriate measures so that when we do come back next week, we'll give them visitation. Do you know these people made a way to keep me from seeing my baby till next week? Y'all give me a moment. Y'all almost lost me. So they put my visitation off to next week too. The judge say, well, but I forgot to tell you. So during this time they were talking about jurisdiction, I asked the judge, can I go talk to my attorney real quick? He says, yeah, no problem. So I go over there and I look my public defender in the eyes. And do you know, her eyes was red as fire. She was so mad that that plan they had for us today didn't work out. She looked like she ain't been to sleep since she been born. Eyes was red like a dragon. So when I looked, I said, damn, why you look like that? This is what I say to myself. I say, ma'am, they talking about jurisdiction. What they got to do with why they took my baby? She said, and she tried to convince me. She said, well, we're trying to see if Memphis got jurisdiction over this, because if Memphis got jurisdiction, then they gonna pick up this case. I wanted to say something. I didn't even say that. You got to let evil folks go out with a fight. Okay? Of course, they're going to try to do something to get out of this. And what better way to say, we don't know if we even supposed to be taking this case? How in the hell is you going to convince yourself that you ain't supposed to take this case when my baby was born in Parkersburg and y'all took her here? So they knew better than this. But courtrooms get away with anything that they get away with. Unless you say something about it or you make some action against it, once they do it, it's over with. They got the police in there. What you gonna do? So I'm sitting back, I'm like, damn, these folks slick. But we done won the case already. When my wife did not give testimony, we put the last nail in their hope of a case. Because number one, they say they had an amended petition, which means that they done added something to the petition. Y'all ready to see this paperwork? Do y'all promise not to die laughing? I swear I will come to your funeral if I show you this paperwork and you go into cardiac arrest and we don't see you no more. Listen, hold on. These folks crazy, man. I had talked to my administrators about this first, because I contacted them first when I came from court. So I already done had my laughter for the day about this. Oh, and by the way, y'all, please, because I'm about to go to DC, and they trying to keep me from going to DC. Y'all please just hold off for a minute with all the beefing and stuff. That ain't even necessary. We trying to figure out what CPS got going on. Not why you mad at somebody because you don't know them and you don't want them to be better in their life, and you think, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just letting you know if that was the case, because I really want y'all to stay tuned. It's no coincidence that you watching this live. It's no coincidence that your spirit's showing interest. Even if you're the enemy right now, I'm sure at least 10 people on here work for CPS. At least 5 people with the FBI. At least 4 people out there sacrificing lizards in the woods on marble tables with hoods on their heads talking about blah, 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 blah. At least 4 people on here, they doing that. So let me show y'all this paperwork. Did somebody laugh? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hey.